What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be making a top 10 shooting guard list right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, within this list, I want you guys to also know I'm not ranking the Invincibles. I'm not ranking the 100 overalls. Why? Because I got to be honest. If I were to do that, there would be zero affordable cards on this list, right? Because the list would be full with Kawhi Leonard, Ron Artest, Tracy McGrady, like Kevin Durant. The list would go on. And if that's what you want, that's fine, right? Like KD, T-Mac, Kawhi, Ron Artest, those are, 4 out of your probably top 5 right now in the game. After that, it gets a little tougher, but I don't want to do it like that, right? Larry Bird's obviously probably up there in that top 5 too, right? So there you go. For all you guys that are big ballers out there, I just gave you them. But in this video, it's going to be something a little bit different. I'm going to be giving you guys my top 10 affordable-ish shooting guards in the game. Now, I'm going to include some cards from the new event as well. No 100 overalls, no Invincibles, because cards like that do get really, really, really expensive. So hopefully, you guys can see this list and agree with them. And again, this is my personal list. So we're going to start off at number 10 with Dark Matter Karl Malone. Now, some people may have Karl Malone higher. I think the problem that I have with Karl Malone is he cannot really create his own shot whatsoever. And I think it is a problem. I don't hate Karl Malone. I actually think you can use and have success with Karl Malone. I do think, though, if he is your, primary, shooting guard and you don't have a point guard that can get you a bucket on every possession, it might be tough with Karl Malone. Good, long, lengthy shooting guard is fine, is great defense, near max defense, and has a solid enough release. The upper is so weird, though. And that's another thing I want to hit on. He's got the Pro 2 leaner, but the Malone upper just doesn't do it right? And I know he's got Garland dribble style, but his movement's just not great. Karl Malone's a card that when he came out, I thought was going to be so good. And honestly speaking, I'm let down. I'm so let down that I honestly like Buzelis over Karl Malone. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like it, but hear me out, right? Buzelis is taller. Buzelis is just as good defensively. And I think Buzelis offensively gives you more than Karl Malone, genuinely. I do think it's close. I do think there's a debate to be had here. But I'm telling you right now, I think Buzelis on the offensive end of the offensive side of the ball gives you more than a guy like Karl Malone. And so that's why he's higher for me. Can play shooting guard, is 6'10", can knock down shots, can play a ton of defense, is going to get you stops, max driving, dunk, hot spots from everywhere. I will stand by the fact that I think Buzelis is better than Karl Malone. Now, again, I do think it's close. I do think it is preference-based. And if you like Karl Malone more than Buzelis, I'm fine with it. But to me, I do think Buzelis is kind of underrated because he is a Galaxy O. I genuinely believe that. At my number 8 here, we're plugging in the Dark Matter Rick Barry. A card who I got to pick up on my no money spent. Everybody's been gassing Rick Barry, and rightfully, deservedly so. AJ lost it on very quick. Pro 2 leaner, Garland dribble style, 6'7", basically max defense, is going to knock down shots. There is really no flaws when it comes down to Rick Barry and what the card is going to be able to do for you. I think this card is all around an absolute stud, an absolute beast, and honestly isn't super overpriced on this game. Now, the majority of these downtown cards I wasn't super impressed with. Like even Pete Maravich I wasn't impressed with. But this Rick Barry card can absolutely play. And he's going to be able to play for the foreseeable future at that shooting guard position. Just an absolute stud. And it's been a while since I've been able to say that about a Rick Barry card in my team. At my number 7 here, Dark Matter Kawhi. I will stand by the fact that Dark Matter Kawhi is basically the same as Invincible Kawhi. If you get Dark Matter Kawhi with different legend badges, tell me the difference in the cards. Stat-wise, nearly identical. Animations, literally the exact same. So tell me, right? How are you going to sit up there outside of, the Steph escape? Who really cares? Dribble style is slightly different too. Who really cares? Neither of them are great. This Kawhi Leonard is basically the same as the Invincible Kawhi. The thing about it, though, and I really like Kawhi defensively, is he's 6'7". So you want to put him on ball, that's fine. But, he's not super lengthy. And so if you have an undersized point guard, and I don't even want to say undersized, but if you're running even a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, then you got Kawhi Leonard. What happens if you match up a team with a team with Ben Simmons and KD? Gets super tough. Gets super difficult. And that's something for Kawhi that makes him lose his value, because Kawhi's main value is defense, right? Locking down guys like MJ, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, those type of guys. But if they have a tall point guard, Kawhi does lose some value. Still comes in at my number 7, a card I really do like and rank highly. I like Amen Thompson more, though. And I know I'm biased towards Amen Thompson, but I don't really care. I mean, he's got Francis. He's got Amen on very quick. The upper is interesting, though, because, like, similar kind of to Karl Malone, not as bad, but similar to Karl Malone, you got to kind of be patient on that Pro 2 leaner, because of the upper, it takes a little bit longer to maybe develop. And again, it's something you're going to have to get used to, but once you get used to it for Amen Thompson, I mean, you're going to like it. Garland with Francis, with Kemba, Amen can move. He can be that secondary ball handler for you guys, can create his own offense. And defensively, this card is still going to be so good. I personally like him more than Kawhi, and nobody really can change my opinion on that, because they were my 2 shooting guards in recent memory. And so, like, I still think I sold both of them this week, but they're 2 great shooting guards, and I've used both of them. So I think I can tell you guys which one is better, because again, I have experience running both of them quite a bit. At my number 5, I'm plugging in Franz Wagner. Now, Franz is weird, and I want to talk about this because his jump shot, everybody says, and it's true, is kind of tough to green, right? It is. But with all that being said, Franz is 6'10". So go back to the point of where I said, what if somebody is running Ben Simmons at the 1 and KD at the 2? Well, guess what? Franz Wagner, he's 6'10", so you don't have to worry about that. Franz Wagner on very quick, D-book dribble style, Kemba escape obviously is ideal, 94 3-ball, 95 speed, great defensively. There's not a whole lot of negatives with Franz. I think that this card is so good as long as you can green with that jump shot. If you can't green with that jump shot, it is going to be really, really, really tough. Now, again, people are, look at this guy giving the breakdowns. I should just use Giant Slayer as far as my breakdowns. Forget TyDeBo breakdowns. Let me go use him. But it does say the size up stroll. I mean, look, it is, again, you've heard me talk about, You've heard me talk about the Amen Thompson, right? He has Francis, those types of things. But Franz is 6'10", and again, height is so important on this game that I'll take that and live with it. At my number 4, I'm plugging in LaMarcus Aldridge, a card who is kind of a weird shooting guard to have, and you need offense around him. So, like, ideally, you run LaMarcus Aldridge at your 2 and a guy like Michael Beasley, somebody that can create their own shot at your 3. But here's the thing with Aldridge. Can guard 1 through 4 easily, has a great jump shot that's tough to contest. His leaner going right is super good. Defensively is off the charts good as well. And again, if you have a coach that boosts his speed +5, there is no flaws in LaMarcus Aldridge to me. This card is so good. And again, right now in my team, you can probably buy one that's pretty souped up for not super expensive. The thing about LaMarcus Aldridge, you're going to want to run a point guard that can get a bucket, as well as a small forward that can, create their own shot, because LaMarcus Aldridge is not going to be great at doing that specifically. At my number, where are we at? At my number 3 here, we're plugging in the new event, Gerald Wallace. Now, Gerald Wallace, interesting card because, like, offensively speaking, he's not necessarily going to be that great. And a lot of people are going to be like, Ty, what does Gerald Wallace really do better than Kawhi? Well, I think that's a good question. What I would say is this. I think he just gives you slightly more offense. Not a ton more offense, but slightly more offense. The leaner going either way. It's not necessarily perfect, but you can, green it pretty consistently. I remember using the Galaxy Ope with Gerald Wallace. Leaner going left or right, you can green it. I like that over Kawhi because he doesn't even have a leaner going left. As far as, height, it's the same. Size up does have the Kemba size up escape, which is nice. People are saying this Rafer Alston size up is troll. It is. But overall, I think Gerald Wallace is really solid. Do I think he's worth getting in this event? Honestly, probably not. But again, the card is solid. I can't hate a whole ton about this card, especially the defense that Gerald Wallace is going to play. I think the card is really solid. At my number 2, and maybe it's recency bias, but I've got Michael Finley. And I know people are going to be like, what, Ty? His defense doesn't even compare to Jarrell Wallace's. And I get it. But he's got a 96 3-ball, 95 driving hook, 96 speed, great defense, hot spots from everywhere. He comes with the Donovan Mitchell, Oscar upper on very quick. So, like, release-wise, it's going to be fine. Pro 2 leaner as well. D-Book dribble style is troll, mellow size up, all those things are troll. But I like his jump shot. I like his Pro 2 leaner. And somebody said shooting guard Luol Deng. Well, if you compare them to Luol Deng, right, compare the two cards, you look at what Luol Deng does provide. Pretty similar, right? But and again, I know a lot of people like that KD leaner. I'll take the Pro 2 leaner over it. I will every day of the week, right? So very similar to like a Luol Deng, he is. But that Pro 2 leaner, I think, is just so important for a shooting guard to have, just to kind of create his own shot. To me, I really do like Michael Finley. Is he better than Amen Thompson? I think it's close, right? And that's one thing I do want to tell you guys is, honestly, you could have Karl Malone at number 2 and just swap these two, and I wouldn't really, I really wouldn't really argue it. I do think a lot of it probably is recency bias, honestly. But I didn't want to just rank Amen high because I like Amen. Like, genuinely. Like, I didn't want to put Amen here just because I personally love Amen. I think if you compare the base cards, right, not talking about Amen souped up, I do think Michael Finley has the slight edge, at least offensively, but Amen defensively is better. Am I crazy for putting Amen up there? I mean, again, I'd have to rearrange the whole list. It's tough, though, because, like, their catch-and-shoot jumpers, Amen's catch-and-shoot jumper is not that good. It's just not, realistically. So I'm going to keep him at number 6, but just know it is really tough to do. At my number 1, as far as affordable cards here, whichever is the free Paul George. I don't even know what the free card art of Paul George is. Just know and realize that Paul Georges are the same. So, whatever one I put here is fine. Here's the deal. Here's the situation. Paul George, elite, man. I know people are going to be like, well, Ty, some of the other Invincibles have better, SIGs and all these stuff. I get it. Paul George is 6'8". Good release. Pro 2 leaner. Dribble SIGs aren't the best, but he's got basically max defense. He's going to get you stops. He's going to knock down shots. He's got Pro 2. To me, the difference between Paul George and any other card on this list is bigger between Michael Finley and Karl Malone. And so I know people are mad about Paul George not getting updated SIGs and all these things, but I'm telling you, you look at the shooting guards. The only cards better than Paul George are these invincible 100 overalls that are going for over $1 million MT. So I think Paul George is absolutely elite, and if you've got him for absolutely free, you've got one of the best shooting guards in the game. That's going to wrap it up for my list. Like I said, 10 through 2, I think you can really have it any order. I mean, again, if you want me to rank these guys on like my bias, like I would probably even have Kawhi higher, but it's just tough because, again, Finley's offense, I think, is so elite on this game. So that's going to wrap it up for my video. Let me know your thoughts on it. Drop a like on it. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.